Nancy is going to do some chair yoga for us and show us ways to relax. I am going to mute everybody except Nancy.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is just about 30 minutes. We're going to stretch a little, we're going to relax a little, and we're going to energize a little. So I hope this will feel good for everybody. I need you to all be in a sturdy chair, and you have to be able to hold on to something. So I'm holding on, let me see if I can show you, right to the under part of my chair. If you have arms, that's great. Whatever you have, so you have support. I'm in a folding chair, that's a bad idea, but that's what I'm going to use because I'm not worried about falling. So just a nice sturdy chair where you can hold on, okay? And my head might be cut off, but I want you to see my body, so I'm going to leave it like this, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start just to relax a little, and I want you to, excuse me? Okay, I thought somebody said something. So I want you to hold your thumb and your forefinger together, and we're going to do some deep breathing. So what I'd like you to do is start breathing through your nose, and don't just go with your breath here. Go all the way to the belly and get a nice, fill up those lungs and get a nice deep breath. And we'll do that a few times. That's just going to calm us down and relax us, and then we can do some stretch and strengthening. Okay, so in through the nose, all the way into the belly, push the belly out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's do it a few more times. And 2 more breaths. Okay. Let's open our eyes, and now we're going to start. From the head to the toes, and we may go back up again. So what we're going to do now is start just moving our head slowly from side to side. So let's look all the way to the right and then to the left. So I want you to feel a nice little stretch, and we do everything very slow. We never use a jerking movement because, of course, then we can hurt ourselves. So let's just do that about 10 times. 1, inhale to the right, exhale to the left. 2, inhale to the right, exhale to the left. 3, inhale, exhale. 4, inhale, exhale. 5. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. Inhale, exhale. 1, inhale, exhale. 2, inhale, exhale. 3, inhale, exhale. 4, inhale, exhale. 5. Okay, we'll come back to center, and I want you to take your right hand and put it on the left side of your head. And very, very gently guide your head to the right shoulder. It's important not to have the right shoulder like this, but to try and force it down and very gently pull just until you feel a real nice stretch on the left side of your neck. And we're just going to take a couple breaths. Put your left hand down, that helps stretch it out. And let's go to the other direction now. Right hand down, Left hand on the right side of your head. And very, very gently with this shoulder down and this shoulder down, pull. Very gently. And you should feel a whole nice stretch coming through here. Let's take a couple breaths. 1, 2. And now let's pull forward gently. We never want to yank. Just till you feel a nice stretch in the back of your neck. 1, 2. Now we're going to do some neck rolls. So we'll lower our chin and just roll very gently. You might hear a crack, and that's okay. We're getting the kinks out. Do a couple times to the right. And a couple times to the left. Actually, 3 times. Now we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. So we're going to go up, inhale in, up and down, out. In and out. In all the way to the belly and out. In and out. In and out. And in and out. Okay, now we're gonna do some arm and shoulder stretches. So we're gonna take our right arm out in front of us and to the side. So, and then hold on right here, right below the elbow, and give a push. Make sure this right shoulder is down and the left shoulder down always. And we're gonna hold here, and you should feel a nice stretch in the back of your shoulder. And we'll just inhale and exhale a couple times. Let's do one more. And then let's go to the other side. Both shoulders down, across, hold right below the elbow. And we'll feel a nice stretch in the left shoulder. See how I moved my left shoulder down? Okay, breathe into the belly. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do the same thing, but overhead. So I'm going to raise my right arm, hold it right below the elbow. Can you see me? I'm afraid you can't see me. Let's try this. There we go. Just below the elbow, sit up straight, shoulders down, back relaxed, and from the chest to the belly. Try and touch your fingers to the middle of your shoulders or below, as far low as you can go. You should feel a nice stretch through here. 1, 2, 3, and then let's switch and go to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to wake it up. Okay. So what we're going to do is a little self massage. So I want you to take your arm like a chopping block, your hand, the side of your wrist, pinky side down like a chopping block, and we're going to chop from our shoulder all the way to your hand and up to the shoulder, to the hand, and back up and back down. That should feel really good, just as hard as you can, of course not hurting yourself. Sometimes I like to spend extra time up here because I get really, really tight up there. Then we're gonna flush it out. So you take this and you just press it out. And that should feel really good. And then we're going to flush it out on this side. And then let's chop a little. Up and down. And flush. Do it like that, all the way around. Can twist and back. Just a little home massage. Okay, let's do the same thing on the left side. So we'll start with the chop. And the flush. And then let's turn it over. For some reason, I always flush first on this side, and then we'll do the chop. Feels good here for me. And in the forearms. My forearms get tight, especially if you write a lot or you type a lot. And then we'll flush it out again. Okay. I always like to work on the hands. My hands ache me a lot. So we're going to start like this and just open as much as you can. If you can kind of pull your fingers back a little naturally, just do it. And we'll just open and close 10 times. And I always remind people to breathe because the breathing really relaxes your whole body. So do those deep belly breaths as well as you can. Okay, now we'll roll out the wrists and to the other direction. And I like to take my fingers and pull back just to kind of loosen it up. If you can press your thumb down, that's great. Just kind of loosen up that wrist and forearm. And we'll go the other direction gently. You should feel a really nice stretch in here. And then we can stretch the thumb in and out. Just get a nice stretch and do each finger individually. Okay, and then let's go to the other side. So I think I stretched back first. Back. Hopefully you feel that in your palm. Real nice stretch in the palm. You can do the thumb if you want. And then forward. Oh, that feels so good. And then we'll do each finger individually. Okay. Now we're going to rev it up a little. So come forward in your chair just a little because I want to do some arm circles. So we're going to go forward 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back. Let's just loosen up those shoulders. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're just going to fly like a bird. So what we do is we loosen our wrists and we just kind of fly. Do your deep breathing. Now we're going to do some windshield wipers. So we'll go right and left and right and left and right and left and right and left and left and right and left and right and left and right and left and right and left. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some, in yoga it's part of a sun salutation, but we're just going to do the upper body part. So we're going to Raise our arms up. Take a deep breath in. Put our palms together. Breathe out. Come down again. We'll do this a few times. In, together, down. Breathe in and up. Together to the chest as you exhale. A couple more times. In and up. Together to the chest and exhale. One more time. In and up. Together to the chest and exhale. Now we're going to do some twists. So you're going to take, I'll try and readjust.
Standing?
No, not standing. I just moved myself a little. And Izzy, if you want, you can unmute in case people have questions. I'm fine with that. So we're going to take our left hand to our right thigh, knee, wherever you can get it comfortably. We adjust to make sure everybody's safe and comfortable always. And then we're going to take our right hand and we're going to hold on to the back of the chair, or once again, wherever you can. And we're going to look over the right shoulder. So you should feel a nice twist in through here. Take a couple breaths. And then let's do it on the other side. So we're going to take the right hand to the left thigh or knee and take the left hand back, hold to the back of the chair, sit up straight always, and we'll twist. Let's do that one more time on each side. So left hand to the right, right hand back, sit up straight, turn and twist, and a couple breaths. Once more on the other side. Right to left, left hand back, turn and twist. Look over your left shoulder. Okay, let's come back to center. Take a nice deep breath. Now what we're going to do, we call it cat-cow in yoga. I want you all to sit. I'm going to stand just to demonstrate what it should look like from your chair, because you won't be able to see me. Okay, so I'm going to bend over and we're going to do a cat. You know how cats get angry and they stretch their backs up like this? And you'll feel a nice stretch through here and you blow all the air out. And then we're going to inhale. And that's the cow with the cow sway back. Exhale, cat. And we'll do that in our chairs. So we're going to start with the cat. Inhale. Exhale, cow. I'm backwards. I'm so sorry. This was the cow. Inhale, chest out. You're going to sway your back and then push all the breath out and be a cat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, I hope that felt good for you. So we're starting on our back work now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stick your feet out as far as you can in front of you. We're just going to see if we can gently hold our bellies in. That protects your back. And see if you can touch your toes, touch your ankles, your knees, whatever you can touch, just to get a nice gentle stretch. And we'll take a breath in this direction. One more breath. Now I want you to come up very slowly. We roll one vertebrae at a time, with your head being the last thing to come up. And take another deep breath. Let's do that one more time. Put our feet out. We're going to roll down as far as we can comfortably. This is really nice on your lower back. And we'll take a few breaths. 1, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2, 3, and we'll do one more. 4, and then gently back up, one vertebrae at a time, and your head being the last to come up. Okay. Now we're going to do a little leg strengthening, and then we'll do a little leg stretching. So what we're going to do first is take your right leg, straighten it, tighten the thigh as tight as you can. You can flex the toes. See how my toes are flexed back? That gives you a nice stretch in your calf, and you're tightening the thigh. So we're going to do that 5 times on each side, okay? So 1, and tighten up that thigh really good. It's a strengthener. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's come back to the other side now. 1, remember to flex your foot. 2, and tighten right here. 3, 4, 5. Let's do it one more time on each side. So we'll start with the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Okay, now, if you can, you're going to take your right leg over your left knee, like so. And if that's too much for you, you're going to put it down about halfway between your ankle and your knee. And then we're going to gently bend over. Hold on to that right leg. So either like this or like this. And you should feel a nice stretch in your outer thigh right here, the hip flexor joint. The hip joint, not the hip flexor. That's next. And we're going to take a couple deep breaths like this. Okay, let's gently set it down and come to the other side. Lean forward. Whenever we lean forward, we always hold our belly in to support the back. Let's take a couple breaths. Okay. Now, I would like to stretch our quadriceps muscles, which are right here. So if it's comfortable, I'm going to have you stand up and come to the back of the chair. Hold on to your chair and use your chair for support. And if you can, grab your foot like this and just do a couple of breaths. If you can't do that, then I want you to come to the side of your chair, hold on, and do it like that. So do whatever works best for you, and let's just take a couple breaths like that. And then let's just scoot to the other side. standing or sitting and do the same thing. If you can't grab your foot, just lift it. That's enough. Okay? And we'll take a couple breaths. Okay, let's put that down. So now what we do is a little, oh boy, I forgot the word, but it's a coordination exercise. So we're gonna move our feet. We're gonna do a little yoga dance with our feet just to get them going. So we're gonna go right and left and right and left and right and left and right and left. Let's do it a couple more times. Right, left, right, left. Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Yay. Okay, now if you can take your feet behind you. I don't know if you all have shoes on or not, so do your best. And this is a really nice toe stretch. So if you do have shoes on, try it later. It feels really good. It stretches out the bottom of your feet just beautifully. So take a couple deep breaths while we stretch our toes. And then if you can, we'll put them the other direction and stretch them. And with this, you should be stretching out the whole front of your foot all the way up the shin. That feels wonderful for me. Okay. Let's all unmute, and I want to see how we're doing. Can we unmute everybody? Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Tell me how you're doing, if you're enjoying, if you want something else, if you have a tight body part.
I have a question. You said breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth.
Yes.
What happens if you use your mouth for both? In and out through the mouth.
Not good.
You know what? It's fine. You've been breathing that way your whole life, so continue to do it. If you can do that, studies show that people who breathe through their nose, especially when they're sleeping, better sleep. But you know, sometimes you have stuffy nose, or that's just what you're accustomed to. So that's just what we teach in yoga, but do your best.
Okay, thank you.
So it's the breathing that's most important. We all have to breathe. So, but yeah, if you can work on it, that's something that it's very relaxing. Oh, I didn't hear you. Who's talking? No, I can't hear you.
She could type it in the chat, maybe.
Yeah, type it in the chat.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you, what is your name?
Nancy?
Listen, I do a lot of these exercises already. I'm an atria, and I do a lot of these exercises that you already showed me. But I remember, and I know the breathing, but it was wonderful. And I do the sit and stand 10 times. The sit and stand, and I do a whole bunch of them. And we used to have yoga here at Atria when who was it? I forget her name. But the cat and the cow, we did all that. And I know how to I do exercises every day. I start with my arms. And I do a whole bunch. There's a W and the T. There's a whole slew of exercises that I do every day. And I'm glad that and the turning the neck, the head, the breathing, inhale, exhale. I'm familiar with all of it. I'm happy I joined you though, because I wanted to see what you were gonna do. Thank you.
Myra, is that you talking?
What? Ask me a question, what?
Oh, yeah, no, we can come on early to Smile on Seniors and you can show us some yoga with you.
Who's talking? I don't know what somebody said.
It's Judy Levy.
Ellen?
Judy Levy. Is this Myra?
Judy?
No, it's Ruth.
Are you at Atria?
Oh, Ruth?
I don't know, but
Oh,
I,
why don't you-
Okay, so I want to ask you all another question because this is what I was trying to figure out. Who in this group is comfortable standing?
who and what?
Are you comfortable doing standing exercises?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yes,
Yes.
in fact, I put on music sometimes in my apartment, put on my favorite songs, the singers and swing in the mood or
Okay.
anyway, and I dance,
Do you
I
want to
dance-
do a
I
few
dance
more
around.
minutes?
I dance around to the music.
Sure, we'll stand up.
Okay, so let's do a few more minutes. I'm never quite sure, what my audience is and if you're comfortable sitting or standing because this is really chair yoga where we're supposed to be sitting. There's no supposed to. That's just what I said I was going to teach. That's just what I said I was going to teach.
All good.
But if you'd like to do a little more strengthening and standing, we can do that. And sometimes I go places and everybody, they're in wheelchairs and they can't stand up. So I'm very careful about that. So that's why we did a little bit and now we're talking and we can do a little bit more if everybody would like to.
Yeah, yes, that would be good. That'd be neat.
I learned the Macarena dance. I went on Google, on YouTube, and they taught me the Macarena. You could do it sitting down also, it's hands, neck, hip.
You know what?
back.
You know what?
You can go online and find out how to do the Macarena dance. You could do it sitting down and exercising your arms and your hips and your back end.
I'll tell you
Well,
what.
Nancy, let's
I'll tell you what.
get standing and do something.
Okay, next
Put
time
your
we're
video
Lead us.
on.
Lead us.
next time we're going to do the Macarena. Okay. No, because that's a great one.
What about the hokey pokey? The hokey pokey.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by standing up and down in our chairs 10 times. And then we'll hold on to the chair and we'll do a few other things, okay? And a few more stretches and then we'll cool down, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's start here. Remember your breathing. So we're gonna go up. When I come up, I squeeze, strengthen, okay? Squeeze your butt, squeeze your thighs, squeeze your belly, pull it up and in as good as you can, okay? So we're gonna go up and down as fast a pace as you can, but we never wanna get sloppy, okay? So ready? Yeah. 1 and 2, and you can add your arms, 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, now I'm going to come to the back of my chair, okay? And we're going to take the right leg and we're going to push it out, foot flexed. And remember, belly in, nice and tight. And we're going to flex the foot. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Now let's kick to the front 10 times. 1 and 2. And 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, and then let's kick to the back. Please be very careful because you can hurt your lower back, so very gently. I don't care if you can only lift an inch off the floor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I feel it tightening right there. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side. And to the side, flex your foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to kick to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then back. And once again, very carefully. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now let's sit down and we're going to do some point flex with the toes. So we'll start with the right. Point. I'm holding it up only so you can see it. You don't have to hold it up more than an inch. Point and flex. You do this really strong, you should really feel it all the way up the back of your knee. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Let's do circles to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left.
It's not the leg, Betty, she's moving, it's the foot. It's just the foot.
5. Let's bring it down and do the other side. So we'll start, we point and flex. When you point, pretend you're a ballerina. I want you to get a nice big stretch through the front of your foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and then we're going to circle to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, now we're going to do some more Youth Salutations, and we're going to bring it all the way up. And we're going to go all the way down as far as you can to your toes. Blow out, blow in, and up, and down, in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Remember I told you 1 vertebrae at a time when you come up, and very gently going down. Come as far as you can. If you can, touch your toes, your ankles, your shins, your knees, whatever is accessible to you. And then we're going to come back up 1 vertebrae at a time. Do a couple more of these. Okay. Now we're gonna roll out our neck a little more to each side. We're gonna loosen up again. 3, 4, 5, and the other side. Now we're going to do some side stretches. I want you to take your right hand down, hold on to the side of your chair, left hand up, shoulders down, breathe in, and raise your arm very gently to the side. Blow out. You should feel a really nice side stretch here. And just take a couple breaths like this. And then gently up and down. Same thing on the other side. Hold on to the side. Gently raise your arm up and over. Get a nice side stretch right there. And let's take a few breaths.
What the administration does that is not being come forward, and you're already going to see a convention.
Come back up.
White House.
Both arms up and down. I want to do a couple more twists and we'll stretch a little more and then that'll be it. So take your left hand outside your right thigh. Once again, hold on to the back of the chair. Gently from the waist up, twist and look over the right shoulder. Take a couple breaths. Come back to center, take a breath in center. And we'll go to the other side.
It's strategically moronic.
Yeah, I don't quite get that. And largely because what they have to be talking about requires the sobering of the moment. Almost 100.
Okay, come back to center. Okay, we're gonna do the hip stretch again. Actually, since we can all stand, let's do a standing side stretch, okay? So I have one hand on my wrist, on my waist, the other hand up in the air, and I'm gonna gently reach over. Come gently up, put your arm down, other arm up, and gently over. Let's come back up, raise above the head. And let's do 10 more in and out of our chair. 1, squeeze, 2, squeeze, 3, breathe, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's sit down. This one is a little tricky, but it'll be a nice addition. So I'm gonna try and get it. So this is a warrior pose in the chair. So you're gonna take your right leg and put it to the side of the chair. And then your left leg, you're gonna take it back as far as you can. So I have mine pretty far back and I'm straightening it. But do whatever you can, okay? Like this, like this, like this. And then we're gonna gently lean forward as much as you can. Less is more. I never want you to do too much and possibly hurt yourself. You should feel a nice stretch all through here. Take a couple breaths. Then we're gonna come up, swing around, and go to the other side. So our left leg will be over the chair, our right leg will be back, and we're gonna lean forward gently as far as you can. So I feel a stretch all through here, and most of us have tight hips and carry a lot of emotions in our hips. So if we can let that go, you're gonna feel so much better. So a couple breaths. And then we're gonna swing around. Okay. The last thing we're gonna do is for the belly. So what I want you to do is either 1 or 2 feet you're gonna lift. So 1, 2, or 1. That's really hard actually. So That might be too hard. So let's start with the right. 1, and I want you to try and concentrate on using this to lift. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now we're gonna cross over and stretch out our hips again. So right over left, at the knee, at the shin, or at the ankle. And we're gonna lean slightly forward until we feel a stretch. Always remember, shoulders down and deep breathing. Okay, let's bring it down and come to the other side. Couple breaths. And let's bring that down. Okay. And then let's do a couple more arm stretches. So right arm over, just below the elbow, shoulder down, stretch and breathe. And then we'll take the right arm overhead, just above the elbow this time if you can, and as far down as your back as you can. I don't want you to round though, so I'd rather have you stick up and not go far down. So just do your best. Let's take a couple breaths there. And then we'll go down and to the other side. Left arm, right arm presses. Get a nice stretch, shoulder down. Okay, and then we're gonna go above the head, above the elbow. If you have to, you can do it this way in front of your face, behind your face, whatever works best for you. Okay, and come down. Now we're gonna have just a very short Shavasana. Shavasana is the most important pose of the day because we're gonna relax our whole body. And hopefully you'll feel restored after this. So I want you to put your thumb and your forefinger together. Just lay it on your thighs. Sit up as straight as you can, shoulders down, chest out so you can get the air deep inside. And we're gonna do that belly breathing where we go in through the nose if possible, all the way into belly and out. Close your eyes. And we're gonna start relaxing, and we're gonna start with our toes. I want you to relax your toes. Maybe you wiggle them a little. Relax your ankles. If you want, you can twist them around a little. Just deep relaxation. Relax your shins. So think about your shins. Think about them feeling relaxed and the weight just falling off. Relax your knees. Relax behind your knees. And your calves, relax the calves. And let's go to the thighs. Relax the thighs. Relax the hamstrings. Relax the buttocks. Relax the belly. Let it hang out. Just take a breath and push your belly. Push the air out of your belly. And then inhale. Make your belly big again. Push the air out again. And we're going to relax our chest and our shoulders. Relax your upper arm, your biceps and your triceps. And your lower arm, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. And we're going to relax the back. That's hard. Just take a couple deep breaths in and try and relax your back and your neck. Relax the neck, your ears, your head, your eyes. Now we're going to gently open our eyes. Take a couple deep breaths. I want to thank you all for spending your time with me today. Feel free in the chat to tell me what you liked, what you might like more of, what you might like less of. And I'd be happy to do this again anytime with you. Have a beautiful day. If you have questions, it's a free-for-all. Hope you enjoy.
Nancy, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For me personally, the most important thing I got out of it was that half hour of silence. Just where I really felt that all this buzzing and beeping and phones ringing and everything were gone. And thank you, that was great.
Oh, I'm so happy